Hey everyone, it's me, Katie, and I wanted to take a moment to give you an update on what it is that I've been working on and what it is that I've been developing because I've been getting a lot of messages. What is ShaktiBOMB? ShaktiBOMB sounds so cool. Can you tell me more about it? How did you come up with this idea? What is the subconscious energy scan all about? And so I figured, why not just hop on video and tell you a little bit more about what this is about, because it's really exciting and it's already changing lives for people by providing these aha moments, light bulb moments of just simple bits of awareness and understanding things that we never knew that we actually knew, or just giving ourselves permission to understand and accept ourselves, as opposed to keep trying to fit into some sort of box or find a solution. I think there's been a lot of focus up until now on sort of getting ourselves out of where we are, or manifesting something that's going to change our lives, or a soulmate, or whatever it is. Like, we're always looking for these solutions, and there's solutions that happen outside of ourselves. Like, when I get X, I'll have Y. A lot of people ask me, like, I need a side hustle, right? And they think that if they get a side hustle, then they're going to have enough money, and then when they have enough money, then they're going to be able to do what it is that they want. And what we're finding is that that's just not possible. Like, that's just not the way it works. And so if you are wondering about that yourself, like, I keep waiting for things to change, or I keep waiting for things to get better, or I keep thinking that at some point I'm going to get the things that I need and then my life is going to transform, you're going to be sitting and waiting forever. And I don't mean that in a negative way. What I mean is that there are things happening in your life that are keeping you where you are, or their behaviors or their patterns. And if we don't address those patterns, it's very easy for us to recreate from the old energy, or to stay stuck in those patterns because they're subconscious. They're things we're unaware of. And so we're looking ahead to the future, or we're looking for a solution, right? We're trying to find something that's going to provide us the answer, but we're forgetting about the fact that from where we're sitting right now, we already have some sort of patterning that's causing us to behave the way we're behaving. And so the only way to change that is to look at what's happening right now. What's happening up until this point? What are the things that we're doing that are getting us the outcomes? It's like baking a cake, or a recipe. You put baking soda and vinegar together, you're going to get a volcano. So you're going to have an eruption, right? And so we're constantly going like, I want peace, I want more money, I want a soulmate, I want love, I want this, I want that. But we're not looking at what's going on in the present moment within ourselves that's keeping us from getting that. And that's a really big problem. And so that's why I am constantly redirecting back to the self, back to the subconscious, back to the programming, back to the behaviors, because there's nothing wrong with us the way we are. There's nothing wrong with anything other than the fact that we are not addressing what's causing us to have this outcome repeatedly, because it really is, it's a repetitive pattern, it's a repetitive outcome. So that's where I come in. That's where this spiritual training comes in. That's where the subconscious comes in. That's where all of this comes into play, because if you can get really clear on sort of the things that got you here, right? The things you're doing, the programs that are running, the experiences you've had, all of the ingredients that are going into this equation for you, then you can change it, right? Because then you're aware of it. You're aware of all of the energies and the patterns and the thought patterns and the everything, right? That's the programming that's coming into focus. So it's very much like physically rehabbing an injured body, right? Physical therapy, right? If you have a movement pattern that's causing you problems, unless you go and you figure out, like, let me reassess my movement pattern, because it's very possible that if I keep doing it this way, I'm going to keep recreating the injury, right? If you're not holding yourself properly or moving properly, it's very easy to cause an injury. So that's why there's so much focus on functional movement now, because you want to move in a healthy way. If you move in a healthy way, you get healthy movements and you have a healthy body. If you don't, you're going to get an injury, and you're going to get the same injury over and over and over because you're not addressing the whole as a result of, being unaware of it. You haven't looked at that. So you're trying to fix it, but it's a Band-Aid because underneath there's a structural issue, or there's a movement issue. There's something bigger going on. So there's something deeper. So that's functional movement. So this is very much the same, like functional behavior, spirituality, looking at what's gotten you to this point, what's running in your subconscious, what's running in the background that you don't know about that's keeping you from getting what you want, or it's causing you to act a certain way, and understanding it so you can change it. It's really simple then. It's like, for me, I was a nail biter, right? I had a lot of debt. I had struggles with my weight. I had struggles with relationships, right? I had all of these things going on, and I just kept thinking, well, there must be something wrong with me, right? Like there must be something wrong with me. Like, why do I do these things? Going to people saying like, can you tell me what's wrong with me? Give me a healing, teach me how to manifest, blah, blah, blah. And even though I did all that stuff, I still ended up in the same place eventually because I wasn't addressing the roots. I wasn't addressing the core. I wasn't addressing all of me, right? Or the things in my subconscious necessarily. I was addressing it from the outside. So instead of doing the outside in, we're doing the inside out. And that's what ShaktiBOMB is about. And that's what the subconscious energy scan, which is my free offer, right? Free experience to see what's going on in your system, what's blocking you, how this whole thing works in the first place, is giving you an opportunity to look at your behaviors, not just your behaviors like your physical behaviors, right? Or your relationships or something like that, but your spiritual behaviors, right? Your emotional behaviors. All of those come into play because we function on emotional, mental, physical, spiritual levels. And all of those are patterns and behaviors. So we want to look at it on all levels and create a functional plan for you, right? A system that doesn't just speak to your physical, your emotional, your mental, your spiritual one at a time, but as a whole, and address what those things are that are in the background that are causing you to have the same results over and over, or even though you get rid of it, it slowly comes creeping back, or even if you get rid of it, right, then it morphs into something else. Like if you don't address the root, it's going to come back. That's just the way it works. So we're looking at finding the roots, finding the core of why this is happening, and starting from there and clearing it out that way. So it's a different process. It's a wonderful process, and I invite you to continue exploring this with me. And this is something that interests you, looking at it in terms of how it does affect you on all levels, and thinking about, gee, if I could figure out what it is that's causing me to do that or to behave that way or to have that experience, can I change it? And what does that mean for me? It means everything can change, right? A whole new outcome, which is a whole new life, right? Like we really want to look at the outcome as sort of like a formula of like ABC, right? Like 1 + 2 = 3. So what's your 1 and what's your 2? What's happening, right? Or what's your oil or what's your vinegar and your baking soda, right? Like what's causing those eruptions? What's causing those experiences? Because there's things within you that are doing that are in your subconscious. And that's what this is about. It's about understanding that, because I know when I was able to understand what it was in my subconscious that was causing me to bite my nails, I stopped biting my nails. I stopped having the kinds of relationships that were hurtful to me. Like everything changed. And it was as a result of correcting the behaviors themselves, right? The behaviors themselves on a holistic level, on an emotional, mental, spiritual, and physical level. So that's what this is about. ShaktiBOMB is about that. It's about like getting to the roots and just transforming a relationship with yourself on all levels. Because when you do, you get all of that stuff out of the way so that you can be your authentic self, so that you can be in your true nature, so that you can tap into everything that makes you powerful. And you can't do that if you got all this like stuff keeping you from tapping into it or being able to receive it, right? You can't receive it if you're like, no, unworthy, don't do this, do that instead. Don't allow things to come to you, or you're not worthy, blah blah blah. Right? I always say you're not worthy. Right? That's a big one. But all of those things will keep you from tapping in and just being in your being centered in your being. And when you are, you're in alignment, right? And you're not just in alignment, but you're so focused that things don't pull you off anymore. And so that's what we're doing. We're figuring out, what is it that pulls me away, and what can I do to bring me back? That's ShaktiBOMB. That's a subconscious energy scan. That is everything. And I cannot wait to show you more. So if this interests you, there is a link at the bottom of this video. You can click that link. That takes you to a place where you can apply for your own subconscious energy scan, where we'll look at this and we'll figure out what are the behaviors, right? What are the things going on within you that are keeping you from getting what you want? Because there are results that you're seeking and you're probably not getting them. And it's not because you're doomed to never succeed or be happy, or like you suck at manifesting or whatever these people tell you. Other people tell you these things, right? You have a block about this, that, whatever. All it is that you're not clear on what's happening that's keeping you from getting it. And if you can change that, then you can actually remove those and be back in the center again. So it's all about getting back in the center of you. You are the center of your own universe, and I want to show you how. So apply for a free subconscious energy scan so we can get started. Bye.